Welcome back to DT Year 7, albeit virtually. We've got 3 exciting new projects for you to be doing this half term. The first one we're going to be kicking off and completing today. It's a 1-lesson mini project. Is all about rebranding and rebranding some well-known brands based around social distancing. So reimagining some well-known brands to help emphasize and reinforce the social distancing message. So I'm going to talk you through the worksheet. So if we take a look at the brief for this project, to make people aware about social distancing, many popular brands, including McDonald's and Audi, have redesigned or reimagined their logos. So if we take a look at the 4 examples, starting with McDonald's, as you see, it's their famous golden arches, but they've just separated them just to emphasize that idea of staying apart. And again, Audi, they've done something similar with their 4 rings, and then they've got that message, keep your distance. Volkswagen's reimagined logo is quite nice. They've separated the V and the W, and you've got that message, thanks for keeping your social distance. Coke, probably my favourite reimagined logo, staying apart is the best way to stay united. And probably an important point to make on all of these logo examples, they're still clearly identifiable. So you can, although McDonald's logo has been changed, it's still clearly identifiable as McDonald's through, the colours and the shapes of the arches. And that goes for the same with the 2 car brands and Coke as well. So for this task, what are you going to do? You're going to redesign the logo of one of your favourite brands to help encourage social distancing. So that can be any brand that you like. It could be a sports brand, think Nike, Adidas. It could be a food brand. It could be a gaming brand such as PlayStation or Xbox. It's completely up to you. If you are unsure what brand to choose, I would recommend perhaps looking at the Dulwich College logo and reimagining that to get across the idea of social distancing. Okay, so if we have a little look and we go through to task 1. So this is a nice quick one. What do you think branding is? So I just want one sentence, just really to get across your understanding of what branding is. Don't worry too much if you're uncertain. You can use those 4 keywords to help you with your explanation. So symbol, recognize, logo, or differentiate. Through to task 2, this is another quick one, and I just want you to name at least 10 brands. So these can be any brands. You can use some of the ones in the examples and think about the kind of brands that you encounter every day. So the kind, for the foods that you eat, for the games that you play, through to TV adverts. But if you could think of 10 brands, we're then going to use this list of 10 brands for task 3. So this is where we're actually going to start doing some designing. And you're going to choose one of the brands from your list that you made in task 2. And I want you to draw 3 new reimagined logos for that brand based on social distancing. So perhaps you may choose McDonald's and you draw 3 new versions of the McDonald's logo, but one that emphasises social distancing and staying apart for the greater good. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through my example for task 3. So my design idea is based on a brand of my choice, and I've decided to reimagine the Google logo. So idea 1, I've taken the traditional Google logo and I've just separated the letters slightly. So it's still really clearly identifiable as the logo. I've used the same brown colours, but it just helps get across the idea of staying apart. Idea 2, I've taken another version of the Google logo, so the Google G, and then I've separated the components again, just to get the idea of social distancing. Idea 3 is probably the most different of the 3 ideas. So it's got a map marker, and then I've got the Google brand colours and I've incorporated the Google slogan, do the right thing, but also added on a message, stay at home. So do the right thing, stay at home. Once you've got your 3 ideas for task 3, we can move on to task 4. Task 4 is to create a final design for your reimagined logo. So you're going to pick one of your design ideas and draw a final design for it. So you're going to draw it a little bit larger, neater, taking more care over your rendering, and of course you should annotate it as well. So for my final design, I've developed design or idea 2, so this was the G, but I finessed it a little bit. So I've brought the components of the G slightly closer together, so it's more recognisable as the Google logo. I've taken a lot more care with my rendering. I had a fine line pen, so I've used that. If you don't have one though, don't worry. I've also brought in the slogan, the Google slogan, and my stay at home message from idea 3, as I quite like that. So I've brought that in and incorporated that into my final design. And that's it. I hope you enjoy this branding task year 7. A couple of points just before you get started. If you have a printer at home, feel free to print the worksheet provided and use that to write down your answers and draw your designs on. If you don't have a printer, don't worry, you could just use plain or line paper, that's absolutely fine. To submit your work, you'll need to take a photo of it and submit it via Teams for your teacher to mark. One last point, in preparation for next week's lesson, what I'd like you to try and do is try and gather as much old packaging as you can from around your house. So any old cereal boxes, plastic bottles, anything that's no longer in use. Certainly nothing that anyone in your household or your parent or guardian is going to miss. If you need to ask permission whether you can use something, please do. But if you could gather perhaps anywhere around 10, ideally about 10 pieces of old packaging, and we'll use that in the project that we're going to kick off next week. Thanks very much. See you next week.